We know you've been here as crew working at London Film and Comic Con and with the Showmasters events, but you've turned actress, haven't you? I mean, you are going to be in a very big show. A show that I guess people will have heard of. What's it called?
Sherlock.
Now, what was the experience like of working on that?
It was absolutely amazing. I thought being a supporting actress and being you, that you wouldn't really be bothered about, but everyone was lovely. I got treated as though I'd been there the entire time, and it was, you felt part of the family sort of thing, even though it's so brief.
And what was it like working with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman as well?
Not Martin, I'm afraid. No, not Martin, just Benedict. But Benedict's lovely. He was just so nice. At one point he was asking if I was warm enough because my hands were cold, but unfortunately that's just something I have. I have very cold hands, and making faces in between takes. Yeah, a really nice guy.
Now, you were just telling me as we were talking off camera that an interesting incident happened the other day after you told someone that you'd held Benedict Cumberbatch's hand.
Yes, she got very excited, grabbed hold of my hand, and yeah, she mentioned she was a medical professional, so a little bit scary.
She might make away with your hand to keep it as a keepsake.
Yeah, it might end up like the doctor's hand in a jar.
Let's hope not, hey?
No, I'm very attached to my hand. Thank you very much. I can't grow another one.
Now, tell us a little bit about your character, Miss Sutherland.
Miss Mary Sutherland, a case of identity for those that know the original Sir Arthur Conan Doyle stories. She works hard. She keeps her own money. She gives her inheritance money to her mother and her stepfather. But she starts to sort of find, as most young women do, she wants some male companionship. Her stepfather is worried that he'll lose the money. So he, in the original stories, takes on a guise. In the new one, it's internet dating. Sort of lures her into this relationship, but she doesn't know it's him. She thinks it's someone else. She approaches Sherlock to get help to find out what's happened to her lover because he goes missing. In the original stories, he leaves her at the altar. And trying to remember now, it all sort of unravels that it was the stepfather that did this. In the original stories, Sherlock Holmes doesn't tell her. He lets her have the illusion that something happened, he's disappeared, he doesn't want to be cruel. In the new version, she knows because he makes his opinion of her stepfather quite clear in front of her.
Now, how helpful was it going back to the original source material?
I'm actually a fan of Sherlock Holmes myself. I've got the complete works in the house. I've played the computer games. I watched Sherlock before I got the part. So knowing it is fine, but with the modern version, because they change some of the angles compared to the original, I don't think it really matters all that much to know the original story. But it's not really difficult for her. Everyone, I think, has been there at some point where their heart's been crushed.
So how is it the pressure of going into such a huge show as Sherlock as your first job?
I didn't actually realise how big it was. Because I just went, oh, Sherlock, this is great. My family were excited, my friends were excited. And then I did the piece, and again, that was all good. It was only after information got leaked online and people started approaching me, I was going, oh, and as time's gone on and information has spread, it's got bigger, and that's when you feel the weight. And I really hope that, like I said, it is short, but I really hope that they like it, and I do them proud because they are very protective of it. People say that it's sort of akin to like an ownership. The information that these people can access, and I started researching the fans and seeing the fan fiction and the art and the jewellery, and all the things that they make and create about the show is just so large and fantastic.
And there has been so much kind of speculation about the new series, and also lots of press as well, of course, trying to what's going on, what's happening. So when we talked to Jeremy Livering, I asked him about the pressure of having that kind of all that publicity around. He said they'd actually filmed some fake scenes, so to kind of put people off the trail. So what do you think about that?
Filming the fake scenes, I think, is a very clever thing. I don't personally like plot spoilers. I don't like to give things away because I think it ruins part of the fun. The press, I think, is good because it's building up the excitement, which I think is part of the thrill these days. And crime drama is something that's really quite popular, so there's a lot of competition, and it's quite good for the Sherlock team to film the fake things, because then people are going, we don't know what's real and what's not.
Definitely. It keeps us all guessing even longer, doesn't it? I mean, when you were saying you're a fan of the show, as many people are, myself as well, were you speculating, and did you have your own theories about how Sherlock was going to survive through that final episode of the last series?
I did, but I have to be honest, not for very long. Me and my mum watched it, and when he jumped off, and my mum just went, he's not dead. But I have a theory that I spotted when my mum made me rewatch the DVDs after filming. So I do have my own potential theory as to what happened. The fans have probably already come up with this. There's a van just out sort of next to the bus stop that's filled with linen and so on. That's what it looks like. To me, I think that he's probably landed in that and rolled off, and they've put some blood and whatnot, and the cyclist was definitely paid to crash into John.
It's a big conspiracy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is Sherlock is sometimes, well, generally 5 steps ahead of everyone else. So he knew what was coming. So he would have had time to set things in place. And in fact, the hint of that is that he tells Molly that he needs her help. Yeah. So who better to fake a death?
Exactly. Yeah. Would you like to see Moriarty make a comeback, and if that were possible? And how do you think the show will adapt to losing Moriarty?
I did like the character. My mum is a Moriarty fan. She does like to occasionally say that she will burn the heart out of me if I don't make dinner properly. Well, the way I see it is, once a character's dead, and he did shoot himself in the head, they're dead. He's not a Time Lord, he's not coming back. At least I don't think that should happen. But I think it should be okay, because there's quite a lot of bad guys in the sort of Sherlock Holmes, and bad women, Irene Adler. So I do think it will survive, because it isn't just about the bad guy. There's a lot of other characters, and Molly Hooper is an original character, and they didn't think she would sort of be as popular as she is, and she ended up staying. And again, she's got quite a large following as well.
It's been lovely talking to you. Thanks.
Thank you.